Thanks for tuning in to this special broadcast on Financial Advisor TV. My co-host for this is the wonderful Katie Braden of Innovating Advice. Katie, how are you doing on this Monday?
Jay, I am doing awesome. It's a fun Monday morning. We're in the last week of the early bird for the Morningstar Investment Conference. We're going to be talking about a ton of fun I had last week. So we're getting off to a great start here.
All right, so let's start with that. The early bird deadline for the Morningstar Investment Conference is March 31st. Please check on the show notes to see if you can. The beauty of live TV, forget to turn your ringer off. So click on the link in the show notes. Make sure you learn about what's going to happen at the Morningstar Investment Conference, all the great lineup of speakers. In fact, Katie, last week you had an opportunity to go to Chicago and visit the Morningstar home office and talk to some of the folks who are going to be there. Tell me, what did you learn?
Jay, I learned a lot. So I have to say, I kept going back to my brain of when I joined the profession, and I was 22 and I looked like I was 16 coming into this world that, we know what it looks like. And my perception, I think back then of what I would have thought the Morningstar office would have been like would be very buttoned up and very serious. And they're dealing with investments and very analytical. And everyone there was so nice. It was a pretty casual vibe throughout. And everyone that I talk to truly, genuinely loves their job, which I just don't feel like we get to see all that often, aside from all the advisors that you and I get to work with, Jay. But we're talking about, NFTs and Morningstar products and sustainability and personalization, like all these pieces of the client puzzle. And just getting that energy from all of them was so much fun, and realizing that the Morningstar Investment Conference even has so much more than I realized. And Jay, you and I are promoting it, but it's like we just kept peeling these layers of the onion. And I'm genuinely so excited for the conference.
Yeah, as we've started editing some of your interviews at Financial Advisor TV, and we're going to play one here in just a minute, a couple of things stood out. Obviously, the intellectual capital's very high at Morningstar. That's table stakes. You work at Morningstar. But it was the energy that everybody brought to the interviews, along with yourself, that really has me excited for this conference. In fact, why don't we start by playing an interview with the CEO and...
I'm here with Kunal Kapoor, the CEO of Morningstar, talking about this year's Morningstar Investment Conference happening May 16th to 18th here in Chicago. Now, Kunal, there's an amazing lineup happening at this year's conference as always, but why should advisors make sure to register and attend this year?
Because it's time to get back together and engage on investing topics and topics that are important to clients. The world around us is full of interesting things going on right now, and you can take a lot of that back to your clients.
Fantastic. So make sure to get registered today. We'll link to that below, and we look forward to seeing you in May.
Such a nice guy. Looking forward to the conference. So when you think back on all the interviews you did last week, any of them besides the one with Kunal stand out to you?
Truly they all do. And that's what was so interesting, is because they were all so different. It's not like I was going in and just talking investments with all of them. I started the day talking with Marta Norton, who's the chief investment officer at Morningstar. And we were talking about personalization and what advisors should be thinking about in terms of really bringing personalization to their clients. And we see this across, Amazon and Netflix and all these other things. And it's a conversation that's been happening in the profession for a while. And we talk about how we're still at the forefront of that, because as much great technology as we have, we know one of the challenges is still that integration piece, getting everything to talk to each other. But she talks to us also about the value of personalization of investment portfolios and of that client experience. And then how do you do it at scale? Because profitability in any business, in any industry, is super important. And when we put that interview out, hopefully later this week, everyone will see the energy and passion that she brings is just infectious. So that was how I started the day. And I was like, oh, we're in for a real treat here.
Yep, without a doubt. So when you look at the lineup for Chicago, do you see anything in particular that it might surprise an advisor that has not attended a Morningstar conference before?
So a couple other things I learned. There's also, I talked to Lawrence Johnson, who runs this fintech showcase. So he's actually bringing in 20, smaller sort of startup fintechs, and is inviting attendees to come and watch them all deliver, short presentations, talk to them, and then actually have attendees even be able to vote on best in show. which is pretty cool. So really getting to dive in, and Jay, that's your space as well, right? How do we learn more about these companies that are coming to play and get to have a voice in sort of what helps move forward in the industry?
That's right, because it's an investment conference, but there's obviously a lot that goes into being a financial advisor, and this helps speak to rounding out the overall conference experience at Morningstar. So when you think about the Impact Communications and Marie Swift and what they're putting on at the conference, what do you think advisors need to know about that social space?
That it's so important. And I mean, look what we're doing right here. It's getting our faces and our voices and our message out there using all these different mediums. You know, those that know me know I'm all about leveraging authentic video for advisors. Jay, you constantly have content coming out, you know, daily doing these live streams, and the importance of advisors leveraging social and digital across their business cannot be understated. And it also should be fun. And so there are multiple hubsters, as Marie affectionately calls them, that will be presenting in the Social Digital Hub. Jay, you and I will be there a lot of the time. I'll be presenting. Shauna Ohm will be presenting on, leveraging different kinds of communication. And again, just realizing all these different pieces of advisors' businesses. The Morningstar Investment Conference is going to touch on all of them. There's also a financial planning track. There are multiple sessions on, digital assets. I had a conversation with Madeline Hume, an analyst at Morningstar, who focuses on, crypto, and we were talking NFTs, and that needs multiple sessions because there's so much going on there. So it's going to cover the whole gamut, Jay. And I hear there's going to be an amazing happy hour at some point too.
I've heard that there's somebody who puts on a pretty good one. We'll be sure to bring everybody more information about that. I tell you, Katie, you nailed it in terms of some of the diverse opportunities to learn there. The first session is actually the one that stood out to me. Specifically, the session is called "What Do Investors Think About the Digital Trend in Investing?" And to me, that marries a couple of these concepts right together. Everything's getting digitized now. You have to be on the forefront of it, no matter what type of practice that you're running. And Morningstar is kicking off the conference with a session on that incredibly important topic. So
yeah, just knowing how to have those conversations with your clients, or, letting your clients know that they can bring those topics to you. Because that's another challenge, is clients are, seeing things and getting information all over the place. And, if it's not something that's traditionally been part of the advice process because it's all so brand spanking new, just opening up those conversations between clients and advisors.
Yep, that's right. So whatever platform that you are watching this on, whether it's the Innovating Advice or Financial Advisor TV, stay tuned this week, and we are going to bring you interviews with some of the thought leaders from Morningstar that will be presenting at the conference, along with some other pretty cool stuff. The important thing to know is that the early bird registration ends March 31st. So please click the link in the notes, head on over and join Katie and I in Chicago this May. Katie, thanks for jumping on for a quick talk.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jay.